All right, little preview action going for you. Lions versus Colts. Who you got in this one? You got the Lions? You got the Colts? All right, I know that I think, and I hesitate saying this, but this is a good matchup. So in this video, we're going to get into the matchup. We're going to get into where we can exploit this Colts defense, where we can take advantage of them both defensively and offensively. And then we are going to get into what an all-time great had to say about the Lions offense. That is just the number one compliment that you can receive. And beyond that, let's just have a conversation about how the Lions' strengths match up really well against the Colts' weaknesses. And that is what is going to be the key to this game. So anyways, with all of that being said, I have a question for all of you. I got a question before we get into any of this kind of stuff. Who's going to be your predicted MVP in this game? Who's it going to be? You got St. Brown. You got Gibbs. Is it a Monty game? Is Goff going to go off again? What are we thinking? Offensive MVP versus the Colts. Hit me with it and give me a little prediction. 2 touchdowns, 150 yards. What are we looking at? Personally, I think this is a JMO game, all right? I think it's a running back game. It's a Gibbs-Montgomery game for sure. If there's somebody in the receiving game, it's JMO or Laporta, which is part of the good news that we're going to talk about. All right, I'm going to show you a stat here. The Detroit Lions have been successful running the ball in every single game this year. The Indianapolis Colts are absolutely terrible at stopping the run. This is the key to winning the game this week. It's really, really simple. The Lions have not, according to StatMuse, this year, they have not been held under 100 yards rushing. Their lowest total was 105 against Houston, 124 in the driving rain against Green Bay, and then 116 against Seattle. And they have been phenomenal. They've pushed 200 yards on 3 different occasions against Arizona, against Dallas, and against Jacksonville. They can run the ball. Why is this an important thing to talk about? Okay, the Colts on average allow 143.1 yards rushing per game. That is 28th in the NFL. They are awful. Yards after contact, 28th. They allow 3.22 yards after contact. In other words, they don't tackle well. We have 2 running backs that love breaking tackles. We do. They have given up the most 10-yard rushes in the NFL with 48 allowed. We get a ton of 10-yard rushing. Now, the Lions, let's look at what the Lions do offensively. They average 152.2 yards per rushing in the NFL. That is 3rd most. So they rush the ball like crazy. 1.92 yards after contact. All right, 5th most. And they have produced 40 rushes of 10-plus yards, 6th most. All right? And, you can say little things like they're the only team in NFL history to score a touchdown in 10 games. All right? Or rush for 100-plus yards and score a touchdown in 10-plus games. Sorry. So the key on this, run the football. And then what do you do off of running the football? Play action off of that. Because I will tell you, the Indianapolis Colts, when we look at this, they have a honest-to-goodness, pretty good pass defense. All right, whether it's Blackman and Cross in the back end, they're fine. Their quarterback trio, all right, you might remember this name, all right, Kenny Moore. There's been rumors about him with the Lions when we were looking for extra corners, things like that. He's 30 years old. He's not young, and he's arguably having the best season of his career. He will be lined up consistently against St. Brown. Now, there's ways around this. All right, the Colts love to play a zone. So I would imagine when you're watching this game, you're going to be seeing St. Brown in motion all the time. Right? That's going to do a couple of things. And a lot of times, we'll motion Laporta, sure. We'll motion Williams, sure. We'll motion a running back out of the backfield, sure. Because we always love pre-snap motion in Detroit because it helps tell you what the defense is doing. It makes life easier for the quarterback because then he can find out, are they in zone or man? We'll still do that. I would suggest, and I would think that St. Brown is going to get the most motioning because it'll accomplish 2 things. If they're in zone, it will get Kenny Moore off of him. If they're in man, then at least it will make him move, or he'll have to transfer it over to somebody else on the other side of the formation. That's the beautiful thing about motion. You can get the matchups you want, or you can at least get them to start at a disadvantage. So the Detroit Lions' absolute strength is the Colts' biggest weakness. So run the ball, hope the offensive line gets to the second level, play action off of that run to do that, and then take advantage of matchups. All right, that's why I was saying I think it's Jamison Williams or Sam Laporta that actually has a big game in this one, because outside of the running backs, of course, because St. Brown's going to be on their best. But if you know St. Brown, he doesn't care if it's the best. You go against it anyway. Now, what about the defensive side of things? The Colts can only do so much. All right, now, Terrion Arnold was limited at practice yesterday. I don't know what he is today as I'm recording this. They haven't produced practice reports from Friday. I'm sure I'll talk about it in tomorrow's video. But they haven't produced practice reports for Friday yet. He has a groin injury. I would actually worry about him most because the Colts like to run the ball and then throw it deep. And Terrion Arnold doesn't turn around. So if he's out in this one, I feel comfortable with the depth that we have. Chris talked about how our secondary depth is so much better this year as compared to years past. So I'm really excited to see kind of what that looks like. But here's the thing with Richardson. Here's the key. Take away the middle of the field, blitz. Take away the middle of the field and blitz. He's not good against the blitz. But the Colts struggle against the run. It doesn't matter who we're playing. This offense has been clicking lately. And the GOAT, apparently, I still say it's Peyton Manning, all right? The GOAT, Tom Brady, has been gushing about the Detroit Lions, and he was having this conversation with Belichick on a podcast where this is what he said about the Lions offense. He said, I just think they do such a good job creating this uncertainty on defense. That's where you want to play offensively. Every offense wants to anticipate, wants to play with an attitude. I think they just do that better than everybody else. Barring any injuries on that team, the way they're playing, if they can continue with the work ethic and the humility to learn from mistakes, they are a tough team to beat. Tom Brady earlier in the year said this is the kind of offense that he would want to play on. This is just a fun offense to be a part of, and that's because they're so multiple. We get caught in believing that this isn't a multiple offense because we don't have a mobile quarterback. It's just not true. We utilize our running backs in different ways, our wide receivers in different ways. We got hook and ladders up in here. It is unbelievable the different tricks and the ways in which this offense gets down to business. Tom Brady sees it. The Colts see it. Now, we're going on the road. We're undefeated on the road. We're 5-0 on the road, looking to make it 6-0. This is a game when you look at how tight the standings are. Right? If you look at how tight the standings are, this is a game that it's not a must win. It's not, because we're 9-1, right? But at the same time, there has to be an understanding of we still have a game left against the Vikings and Packers. They are respective 1 and 2 games behind us, right? We can be blowing people out, which we are. We're almost doubling up our opponent, which is just insane, right? You don't see that in the NFL. No other team is close to what we're doing, right? But at the same time, we play both of them again. Sure, they're at home. I get that. That's a good thing. We play a Bears team that's played us tough twice, and the truth is we only have a 1-game lead. You must win games like this in order to get the number 1 overall seed, in order to win your division. The Eagles are 8-2, looking right down the barrel at us, and they don't have the world's hardest schedule going down the road. All right, going down the pipe. They just don't. They just got the Commanders on the road out of the way. The other teams in their division are not good. They just don't have the toughest road. So this is one of those games. Like everybody was talking about trap game last week against the Jags. Like, no, that's not the trap game. Colts are the trap game. Right? Because you're going on the road. You're playing a team that's not bad. They're 5-6, but they're not good. And so do you just underestimate them? All right? They're well coached under Shane Steichen. They're just trying to find their identity, and you hope that they don't find their identity against you. So, yes, this is a game we have to win. Am I confident in it? Yes. It's a good matchup if we play the way that we're supposed to play, and that'll be great because get this game, get a victory, and then go into Thanksgiving Day against the Bears at 10-1 and really start to have the opportunity to start kind of moving away from the pack with this thing. All right, thanks for watching. Run the football this week. See ya.